Hello, people, and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a little bit different. We are doing or I am doing, not you. I'm doing a kind of a shading comparison or a tutorial per se. I'll give you some tips and other type of stuff, but we are going to be shading. And I have three different types of tools that I'm going to be using, and we're going to check out the differences in how they look and maybe where you can apply the different techniques, or maybe they're just you don't want to use them at all, but I'm going to compare them. So first, we're going to do no tool. So shading with just a pencil, nothing else. Then we will do a shading stump. And then lastly, this is the good one. I've actually never tried it before, but I've seen it in other people's drawings of them using it, and I figured I have to try it because why the hell not? And that is a makeup brush. So we'll see how we get on with that. But first, we're going to start with no tool. Now this is obviously the easiest thing if you don't have a shading tool, but you can always use something that isn't one of these three. But don't use your finger. Never use your finger to shade because the oils on your finger will ruin it. And wherever you shade with your finger, when you try to erase it back over, it'll stain, and it's pretty much irreversible at that point. So just that's not a good habit to get into. But yeah, tissue, toilet paper, Q-tip, cotton ball, any sort of small fuzzy thing, maybe your pet hamster could work. I'm not sure, I haven't tried it. Maybe give it a try and let me know how it goes. But first, we're going to do no tool, just regular shading. Not going to do anything crazy. There's just a B pencil. So we'll start really dark, as dark as it will go at least. And then we'll just come out, bring it out a little bit. And when you're shading without a tool, it's pretty difficult. You really have to be aware of the pressure you're putting down. Because once you're down here in the super lights, you're just barely grazing the pencil. And if you're a spaz like me, you'll be working down here, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, ugh, and then you'll kind of mess it up and you'll make a dark spot. So it's not really the ideal situation. But for a time, I used to draw all my drawings like this. No variety of pencil, just an HB number 2, mechanical, and no shading tools. Just going off the grid, going crazy with it, going rogue. Now, it doesn't look bad, and this can actually be used in different scenarios. Mostly, I find it works really well when the thing you're drawing has a texture to it. So whether it be maybe sand or some sort of ground, dirt or whatever, and maybe a wall, or even some sort of, I don't know, maybe even bones or skull or something, because this is going to give you a grainy look because you're not mushing all the graphite around into the little nooks and crannies. So what you're left with is this kind of sandpapery look, which does work sometimes, but if you're drawing something with a really smooth surface like skin, this isn't really the best look for that. But if you're doing a more rugged drawing, something with a little more texture, a little more grit, then this could be a pretty good option for you. And again, this is just with one pencil, and you can see there's a pretty good range here. And then you would get a lighter pencil and continue to work it, and then get a darker pencil and continue to work it that way. Where you can just rock with one and really push it down over here. And you can get it, you know, kind of dark, but it's not going to be pitch black. But if you're just starting out, it can get the job done for sure. So next, we will move on to what I use usually, and that is the shading stump. Now this is an artist's best friend, essentially. Every person that draws with graphite, charcoal, even colored pencil maybe, will either have these or know of these. They come in many different sizes, but they all mostly look like this. It's just a stick of paper, essentially. And I know you can sharpen them once they dull down here, but I've yet to do that. So, all right. So we're just going to start again. Same thing. Get this out. Make a little gradient. And then we'll see what it looks like after we hit it with the stump. Now the stumps are good because they have a point on them, like a pencil. So you're able to really get into tight spots. And they have really small ones that are smaller than this. So you can really get into corners or tight edges and what have you. So we will now blend this all the way out. And with the shading stump, you can actually go beyond where you drew because there will be leftover graphite on the tip already. So you can bring it out more and get even lighter and really just brush it away at the end. And that's really a pretty nice gradient there. But continue to work it until it's even. Something like that. See, now that's pretty good. But the one thing that I find with these stumps that is kind of a pain and it kind of ruins your drawing, well, not unless you want to fix it or if that's the look you're going for. Usually when I draw a face or something, I like to lay down just a base of a very light coat all around the skin just to help with, gives me like a baseline of where I'm going to work up from. And if I need to cover a big space with this, if I go like this and just want a semi shaded area, you can kind of see, kind of not really. Also, if it starts to run out, you can, I do this sometimes, you make a dark spot, usually on a separate piece of paper, and with your darkest pencil or charcoal, or you can use graphite powder. I've never tried that, but I would imagine it's good. And you just come in here, kind of like you're dipping an ink pen or something, and then you can come back and it's like a little refill, and you can go again and get darker. Now I've done drawings where I didn't use any pencils, like straight up. I didn't, unless I'm doing a sharp line, but no shading with the pencil at all. I just use this, and I would continue to do this technique that I'm showing you right here. Just keep coming back. And you can see that's pretty good. But like I was saying, with the stump, it can be a little annoying with the pressure, because you can see over here, I'll bring it close so you can see. You can see it's a little darker right over here. And if you're trying to do a big area, the pressure of this stump, if you come at the top of your stroke or whatever, you may push down a little harder or something, and it's gonna leave dark spots like on the edges or streaks sometimes. So that's the only problem that I have with these stumps. But if I'm trying to do a realistic drawing and I need a really smooth, you know, shade going across, and I get these dark spots, it doesn't make me happy. Essentially. But you can come back in here with an eraser, which I'll get right now and I'll show you. You can use a kneaded eraser. I have one, but I'm not going to whip it out. You can come back and you can kind of just touch these up a little bit, and you can kind of knock them back a little bit. A kneaded eraser would be better. I'll probably do another video on using erasers for highlighting and whatnot. But yeah, you can see that just having to go back and knock that out with the eraser, it doesn't look the best. So, but the gradient overall is nice, and it will get the job done. Now, again, this is something I've never tried, but I've been seeing it a lot, and I feel like it's really going to help. So, went on Amazon, and I bought me some makeup brushes. Now, whether it's a paintbrush or a makeup brush, I'm not sure what the difference is, but these just seem soft, and I'd rather have a soft one than have a harsh bristle. Now, I got a bunch of these. It came with like 24 or something, all different shapes, all different sizes, so pretty versatile, and I think it's going to be pretty easy to use. And these are You Spicy. And obviously I got those because me spicy. So there you go. All right. So let's see how we get on with this. Again, same thing. Come in here. And if you're going to shade like this with a pencil first and then blend it in, your initial blending job in the beginning is going to have to be good in order for what you shade to look good. A shading tool is not going to fix bad shading from what you do with the pencil. So that looks good enough. And we'll come in with the brush, and I guess we'll just do like circular motions, I suppose. That's not bad. Bring it out a little bit. See, now look at that. It's a little bit lighter, but it's very smooth and it's very even. Take a look at that. No dark marks, no streaks. And you can see the comparison there, kind of. This is the Stump. This is the makeup brush. Same pencil. Same everything. And then this is without the initial pencil shading. And you can kind of see those dark blotchy areas. I'll do the same thing with the makeup brush. And we will see how that looks. Now the makeup brush is well, not obviously, I guess, but it's going to give you a lighter tone. because these bristles are bendy and, you know, it's feathery, like painting. With this, it's pretty much a hard tip, like cardboard almost. So there's really no give to when you push down. But the brush, on the other hand, it's going to be a lot more feathery. So we'll just hit that up right there a little bit. And we'll just come in here. All right. So now look at that. I did the same technique with the brush as I did with the stump, and it looks completely different. You can see that the stump gave me a way darker value, but it's kind of sloppy. This brush, on the other hand, it's extremely light, but look at the beautiful smoothness that got me. So if I'm looking to just put down a little tone, very subtle, this seems to be pretty good. And same thing with the stump. You can just keep going back a couple times, maybe 3 or 4. You'll probably get more out of it with a darker pencil if you use a 6B to make this spot up here. And then you can make a gradient. Just keep starting in your initial spot and then drag it out slowly. And look at that. Look at the difference in smoothness and gradient there. The stump, again, streaky, kind of gross. Makeup brush, pretty much perfect. So I'm going to have to go with the makeup brush as the winner. Now, all these techniques will work. It's just depending on what you're looking for and where to apply them correctly. And this right here, this is perfect for skin tones. And I would recommend it because I've never tried it until right now. But now it might be the only thing I use because it comes in a bunch of different shapes and a bunch of different sizes. So I don't have to worry about any of that nonsense with this thing and sharpening it. And sometimes it unravels and falls apart on you after a while. They're good, but they're not perfect. This, on the other hand, may be a different story. So thank you for watching. Just a little demonstration. I'll probably do more of these in the future. But if you liked it, subscribe, comment, like the video, tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your grandparents, and I'll see you in the next video.